That is hardcore.
This is hardcore shit.
But for me, it gets harder and harder to resist.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Horror with Mike and Brigitte.
Hello, Brigitte. Brigitte, this is Mike. What's going on?
Hey, do you have somebody over there with you? Because it kind of sounds like you do.
No, I just have AI run all this now. I don't actually talk. I just tell the AI to tell the story with a podcast, and I just go to sleep. So it works out pretty good. Pretty good. So if it sucks, blame AI.
Blame AI. There you go.
Yeah. All right. So another episode. We got our guest. Who we got tonight?
Man, we got Dylan Young. He's a film director. He's got Video Nasties. He's just doing this genre film club stuff. So he's got a lot of things going on. So he should be pretty fun to talk to.
Dylan A. Young. Yeah, we saw him at the FrankenCon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's really, really cool. Super laid back. Really fun. Super inspiring. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to him.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Well, not a lot going on today with horror news. Obviously, Shelley Duvall died this past week.
I saw that.
She was known for a lot of things, but mostly for The Shining back in the day. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of the stories about how she was treated on The Shining with Kubrick. And but as terrible as it was, it gave a pretty good performance. I think it. Her performance is good.
Know. I actually had no idea. So was she treated bad?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I want to say it was to get her into the method of what she needed to be. I mean, Kubrick was a smart guy and I don't think known to be terrible, like overall to his actors. I mean, unless you want to say doing 100 takes is being terrible to anybody, which probably would be. But, I mean, that movie took so long to make anyway that I assume just getting done with it, the whole experience was grueling because it took so long.
How long did it take? Do you know?
Principal photography took over a year.
Over a year. Wow.
So, yes. Could you imagine shooting a movie for over a year and then going to edit that, all of that?
No.
To me, that's like madness.
It's all those madness. Takes, editing, oof, yikes.
Yeah. But yeah, so sad that she passed away. Again, not much going on. Some trailers. Did you see the trailer for The Substitute?
Yes.
With Demi Moore? What do you think about that one? I think that's going to be good. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's going to be good. Yeah, I was like, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to checking that one out. The trailer for that new Alien movie, Alien Romulus, dropped. Did you see that one?
I don't think I saw that trailer.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be in between the first two movies, like the first, the two that are really, really good and everybody likes. Mm-hmm. And it's by the guy who did the remake of The Evil Dead, that Fede Alvarez guy.
Okay.
But I don't know. With the trailer, I just wasn't really that impressed, but we'll see. I mean, I'll watch it.
Okay. I think I did see this. I did see this trailer because I've been to the movies twice this week. But it doesn't give a whole lot of...
It doesn't. It doesn't give a whole lot. No, but I don't know. It didn't leave me with that certain urge, to be like, oh, this is going to be good. So again, it could just be holding everything, what for the movie, not really revealing too much. So maybe it's not, indicative of what the movie is going to be like. What about that? The one for Smile 2. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I like the first Smile movie. It was a little slow. It was a little slow. It picked up, but I ended up liking Smile, so I'll definitely watch the second one.
Yeah, it's funny because the trailer for Smile 2 and that movie, M. Night Shyamalan's movie Trap, they're kind of similar, and they're both set in this world of the pop music, right? This pop dance music kind of thing. So that's kind of where the culture is. But I think it might be pretty good. I mean, I did end up liking the first one, and even liked it better after second and third watches of it. So I'm looking forward to it, and also that Trap movie, because I think that could be good too. It seems like a good concept.
It's different. That's why Trap. Definitely. I was like, I want to see it because it's just different. And Josh Arnett, I haven't seen him in anything in a while. I don't feel like.
Yeah, the last thing I really saw him in was Penny Dreadful.
Oh, Penny Dreadful. You're right. I think that's the last thing I saw him on. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So nothing else really before we get to movies. We talked the last couple podcasts as I was talking about what's going on with Redbox, and then last time I had talked about that there was in the news that they were going to go to bankruptcy probably, and yeah, it's already happened. They're gone. The sites are down. Their streaming service is down. The website's down. I assume almost all, if not all, I would assume all of the kiosks are now down. All of the employees have been terminated, not laid off, terminated. They're gone. So apparently they only had over 1,000 employees at Redbox, which is kind of
wondering how many employees they had.
Yeah, a little over 1,000, which is kind of surprising to me considering the fact that they supposedly had 24,000 kiosks. So that's a lot. It seems like, I don't know, but anyway, I guess they're all gone. It's just like boom, gone. So that service is dead. So the ripple effects of that is going to be felt for a lot of different ways because of just the media itself and just and all the people that were involved. So yeah, that one is gone. But that's really all I got. So if you got anything else, if not, we'll go to movies.
One thing, and I cannot believe I haven't mentioned this on the podcast. I'm so crazy, but next weekend is Nashville HorrorCon.
Nashville HorrorCon. This is the first year of this one now. This is a newbie. So this is a spectacle. It could be awesome and it could be a train wreck, right?
Yep. It could go either way. Yeah, it's the same people that put on the Evansville HorrorCon, which they've had for a few years.
So they're not really newbies. They're just new to the scene. They're
new to Nashville. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Three-Legged Circus Oddities, we definitely have a booth there, and you can go online to NashvilleHorror.com right now, and use the code Nashville15 and get 15% off your tickets if you buy them in advance. But what I need you to do is pause this podcast and go on there right now because that ends on the 15th.
All right. Okay. All right. So do it quickly.
Yes.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, hopefully it's a successful one and you guys make a lot of money. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop by the booth and remember, if you say Hardcore Horror with Mike and Brigitte, I will have a special goodie bag for you. So stop by the booth, say hello.
Oh, you see, it pays to listen to this podcast. So
that's right. That's right.
Get you a goodie bag. All right. Very cool. All right. Well, that's all I got. You want to talk some movies we've been watching?
Yes.
All right. I feel like this is a good list. Let's go. Go first.
Let's do it. All right. So my list is short, but it's good.
Okay.
So I have watched some of Dylan Shorts, but we'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk to him. First movie that I watched is called All Jacked Up and Full of Worms.
I talked about this last podcast and told you to go watch it. What did you think about it?
I mean, I was going, what the fuck am I watching? It was crazy. It's like, I don't know, like, it is so freaking out there. And you're like, what's it about? I'm like, I can't even really tell you. It's about these guys and chicks that eat these worms and they hallucinate and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So, wow. It's pretty crazy. If you like crazy and wild and you like them WTF moments, then that is the movie for you. All Jacked Up, Full of Worms.
Definitely different. Definitely different. Nothing I can say, well, that movie is just like this.
Yep. So I know we talked about that last week, so I just want to let you know that, hey, I watched it. I had to check that shit off my list.
Yeah.
Next up, I did a rewatch of The Loved Ones.
Yeah, The Loved Ones, yeah.
I love this movie. I feel like it is super underrated. So underrated. And I had posted that on Slasher, and I had put, Daddy will do anything for his daughter. Man, I usually, I'll get like a couple likes on it, but I actually had a couple people comment on it, and I had a ton of likes. And it's just it's a really, really good movie, but you never hear anyone talk about it. I watched it once, I think when it first came out. So it was definitely time to do a rewatch, and I loved it just as much the second go around.
Yeah, you're right, though. You don't really hear a whole lot about it.
Yeah, you really don't. So what else I have? Oh, I did a rewatch of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Ooh, the Killer Clowns, always a good one. Always
Yeah,
good. Great.
yeah. I haven't, believe it or not, I haven't seen it in like a really long time. So I was like, it's definitely time to do a rewatch of it. And it's just fun. It's just fun and corny and a little bit of horror and clowns. I mean, can't go wrong, right? And I did find something pretty cool about this. It's so weird that this just kind of I just watched the movie and I just happened to see something on like social media or about it. So do you remember the movie Ernest Scared Stupid?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the troll masks from Ernest Scared Stupid from the movies like 1991. So those were repurposed alien masks from Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere, so that sounds very familiar. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
because those guys are special effects artists, the guys who made the movie of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So they do a lot of special effects works for other people. And I do think I remember hearing about that. But that's pretty cool.
yeah, and I saw like when I think it was on social media or something. It had like the troll mask and then the clowns, and you can kind of see the resemblance. This, I don't know, pretty cool. I just thought it was like a good trivia.
Yeah.
So next up, I did a rewatch of X.
I did a rewatch of X as well.
Did you? Okay, cool. I'm glad I did a rewatch of it, and I'm gonna tell you something crazy, and I'm almost embarrassed that I'm admitting this on a podcast, but whatever. I'm just going to throw it out there. So you remember how I feel about Pearl?
Yeah,
I didn't like.
You weren't a fan of Pearl. Yeah,
I was not a fan of Pearl. Also, Pearl to me didn't make a lot of sense, and I'll tell you why it didn't make a lot of sense. And I didn't even pick up on this until I did that rewatch of X. So I thought that Pearl was Mia Goth's
Maxxxine?
character backstory. Yeah, Maxxxine. I thought it was Maxxxine, but Pearl is the old lady. So that made a lot more sense to me. But it's the movie itself. It was confusing because Mia Goth plays both characters. So she plays Maxxxine, and then she plays Pearl, and Pearl is two different characters. So I think that's what confused me. It's spaced out. I watched them so spaced out. So so that made a lot more sense to me. And even though it was kind of like the Mia Goth, like crying, I'm like, oh, she can be kind of annoying. It's her voice. Her voice drives me insane. But it did make me. It made me want to like Pearl a little bit more because it made more sense to me, I guess. But,
okay, sure.
So the reason that I watched X is because I went to the movies to see Maxxxine.
Maxxxine, yes. So did I.
Yes.
I went and saw it in the theater as well.
Yes. I liked it. I did like it. I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I almost think I liked it better than X. I'm hearing a lot of people say that. Yeah, I know. I heard. So even Tracy was like, "Oh, I liked X so much better," and I was like, "You liked X so much better because I had so much sex in it." But I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was I thought it was a good story. I think the part where how they try to tie in the Night Stalker.
That was a little bit of a misdirection there,
right?
Well, I mean, I think at first with the trailer, I kind of thought that they were going to like do maybe like a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood kind of a deal where they like made the Night Stalker part of the story. But yeah, but I guess the reason is just because it's set in that time period in LA, and so therefore the Night Stalker was prevalent in that time period. That's my only figuring of why that was actually incorporated in there. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be. You can take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I thought that was kind of it was just kind of a misdirection there. It was kind of odd, but overall, I liked the movie. Believe it or not, Mia Goth did not get on my nerves at all. Like her voice, like but she plays it really well. That kind of white trash, kind of sleazy character or whatever you want to call her, but she plays that part really well, I feel like. So it changed my mind about Mia Goth. So there's that.
All right. Cool.
So what about you? So I know we haven't got your movie list or not, but so overall thoughts. What were your thoughts on this movie?
My overall thoughts on it is I do. I like it. I don't like it better than X. I liked it a lot, and I think it did well to complete the trilogy.
Yeah.
As a trilogy movie, I think Mia Goth did really good in it. I think she was great. I loved Kevin Bacon's character, and everything, but I was trying to separate it like just as a singular movie, and I don't know if like if it was just a standout movie, if it would been if as good to me, maybe, like if you took away the other two. I don't know. Like, it's still a good movie, but it's a little bit self-serving at times, and I don't know if there's enough like major suspense. Like, I figured out the twist, and I didn't want to.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, like I kind of like figured that out, I mean, all in all, though, I think it's a pretty good movie. I mean, I think it just like what the other two did for the time periods that they're, set in. I think it did great to showcase the '80s, that sleaze of LA at the time period.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Bates Motel stuff was good. I love that. I was like, she was almost inside. I was like, come on, go inside, go up the stairs,
Yeah. But I'm kind of like you though. It's if it was a standalone movie, if it was just that movie, it wouldn't be near as good. So what do you think about like Pearl? Like I feel like if you didn't watch X, like Pearl, like maybe that's why I didn't like it. It's because I didn't understand, but Pearl is definitely not a standalone movie. I don't feel like it is anyways.
I mean, I like Pearl. I like Pearl. I love the Technicolor look of it and everything. I mean, it's my least favorite of the series, but yeah. I still do like it. I thought it was a good backstory for that character.
Yeah.
The one that we really knew nothing about. So it was kind of fun to see that. As a standalone film, again, yeah, probably it's just sort of, it does lessen it a little bit. Because these still very much hinge on X, which I think was just a brilliant movie.
Mm-hmm.
So take them apart from that, and it is a little bit less. But I mean, they're all well made. He's a pretty good director. He's getting better all the time. I feel like so. Yeah, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah,
it done pretty well. I think. See, I don't really know how much the budget was for it, but I know it didn't do as good as they thought it was going to do. But I think they're maybe happy with it because it seemed like it done pretty well. Because I know the first two were made very cheaply. This one was probably a little bit more because of the production value was definitely more on this one for sure. So I don't know hopefully they're not in the red.
That's so funny because when I was watching the movie, I was literally thinking that in my mind, wow, the budget's got to be like so much larger versus X.
Yeah, there's definitely, because there's so much more to it. Yeah. And Kevin Bacon and everything too. I mean, I would say, hopefully, they're not going to be a box office bomb because of budgets. Yeah. But I think it's worth the watch, Yeah. It's not, oh my God, just like a great, well, especially like the slasher part of it, I mean, there's some decent kills, don't you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I would recommend it. I would definitely recommend it for sure.
But as far as like the whole suspense, I don't know. I've just seen too many movies, maybe, but I don't know if it's like fantastic. But yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I don't think it's like fantastic, but overall, it's a good movie for sure. So next on my list, this is a movie I've never seen before, and I'm so glad that I came across it because I ended up loving it. It's called Dust Up. You seen that?
That name sounds really familiar, but nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, it's a lower budget movie. It was from 2012. It's a former vigilante who has embraced his peaceful nature, comes to the aid of a young mother in trouble with a cannibalistic drug lord. It's really funny. At first, I was like, "Is this a horror movie? Like, it says it's a horror movie," but yeah, later on, yeah, it's definitely a horror movie. But it's one of those crazy, wild rides. It was just a lot of fun, and it was really funny. It's almost like Billy Jack meets Rob Zombie meets Quentin Tarantino meets John Waters type of film.
Oh, so it's like very grindhousey kind of thing.
Yes, very grindhousey. Yes, but it was really good. I loved it. And I looked at the reviews on it, and it doesn't really have great reviews, but I like it. I don't give a shit about reviews. I thought it was a great movie, and I'd definitely watch it again. So
okay,
yeah, check that one out. I think you can stream it. I think you can stream it on Tubi. Yeah, I think he's streaming on. I think that's where I watched it at Tubi.
okay.
Last but not least on my list is Longlegs. Yes.
We've been talking about this movie, I feel like all year, almost. Like
my gosh.
So long.
Yes.
So very long. A really long time. All right, so let's just say the hype for this movie was fantastic. The advertisements, just the marketing was great. Best one we've seen probably in years, probably since Blair Witch, I would say. Just a lot going on, just a lot of stuff out there that really, really made you want to see this movie. We've seen it now. What do you think?
So I did think the movie was really good, but I think it was hyped. I think my expectations were probably too high just because of all the hype. You know, you kept seeing all these headlines like scariest movie of the year and it's a masterpiece and all these things. And I think it just gave those expectations that just weren't quite met for me. I was literally, and I'm sitting watching this in the theater, watching this movie, and I was going, I'm going to have to do a rewatch of this. Like, I think I'll pick up on a lot more the second time I watch it. Sure. So there's a lot going on there, and you have to pay really close attention. Like, if you get up and go to the restroom or you don't, snooze off for a minute, like, you can't do that. Like, you'll miss a lot on here, I feel like. Nicolas Cage was amazing. He, like... Yeah. I loved his character. His character was pretty crazy.
Pretty much unrecognizable, I would say, almost. I mean, if I didn't know it was him, I don't know if I would have been like, that's Nick Cage.
Yeah, same. It was his voice. I recognize his voice, but yeah, you're right. They did really, really good on his makeup, and but overall, I did really like the movie. I didn't find it like. I didn't find it scary. I didn't find it, shocking. But
I mean, I would say it's more really of a psychological, supernatural horror, or, a supernatural thriller than it is really straight up horror, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot more of that sort of stuff involved here than just a quote unquote straightforward horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought it was going to be more scary than what it was. And I feel like they gave away a lot of the scary parts of the movie on the trailers. So I hate when they do that shit. I hate it. Yeah. But it's I didn't find it real scary or shocking or anything. But then again, I mean, I watch a lot of crazy stuff, so it takes a lot to
I mean, I think that's where we are in life. We've just seen so many movies that there's not too much that's really going to shock us so much. But and again, when you see a movie like this, you can see a lot of different influences. Like he really draws a lot of influences from a lot of other movies and plots that we've seen before. So it's not like it's completely like original. Like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this, because there's definitely pulls from so many different movies here.
I was thinking about that while I was watching that. That's funny that you say that. I was thinking the exact same thing while watching it. And something else crazy that so I went to the movies 2 days in a row. So first I saw Maxxxine, then I saw Longlegs. Both the movies were kind of like set in the 80s, and they both like had something to do with the Satanic Panic. Which is funny because you and I were just talking about this not too long ago. All the stuff.
Well, no, actually, Longlegs wasn't set in the 80s. It's set in the 90s. But I
Oh,
got a
was it the
question.
90s?
But I got
Okay.
a question for you about that. Well, yeah,
Okay.
because so she's in the captain's office there, and you see a picture of Bill Clinton. See, my whole thing was I was thinking, judging by the trailers and the way everything looks, is that the whole thing was set in the 70s, and now the backstory is set in the 70s in the movie, but. So the captain, she goes in there and like there's a picture of Bill Clinton there, and
I remember that. That
I'm
should have
sitting
been
there
a dead on
going
right
like,
there.
I'm like, is this some kind of weird space time travel movie? Because there's Bill Clinton. I'm like, isn't this in the 70s? Because everything looks 70s.
It does look 70s. That might have been why I thought it was like an early 80s movie.
Yeah,
that might have been
yeah.
why I thought that, because it does. It does. It feels a lot older. But you are so correct. There's definitely, and it's very obvious. There's a big ass picture of Bill Clinton up on the wall.
Yeah, well, and then later it says like how old she was whenever when she was a kid in the mid 70s, and I'm like, and then you kind of put two and together, it's like early 90s. But I'm just thinking like it's a weird choice to make it look like the 70s but set it in the 90s, and so I was a little bit kind of confused a little bit about that, like what that choice was. I mean, I like the look of it. I just really didn't, because like I remember the 90s, and the 90s didn't exactly look like that,
Right. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't. You're right. The Bill Clinton should have been like the dead giveaway, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I seriously didn't think that it was a 90s movie. Didn't even think that was set back in the 90s.
Right. Well, I mean, nothing other than, again, adding the math of her age and that picture really gives it away, because I feel like the look and tone and just everything screams 70s to me. But what I think of the 70s, like that is kind of what it's looking. So it's an interesting choice. I'm not sure exactly what the whole motivation was for that, but it did make it interesting, because you never really felt like where my half the movie I'm thinking, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, overall, I did really like the movie. I think it's a really good movie. Was it hyped to hell? Yes. Was it what I thought it was going to be? I guess I didn't know what it was going to be because they didn't give enough away to really.
Right.
So
Same.
I love, so that was good though. It was really good that they did it like that. I mean, it works. It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen like a million movies like we have, you probably will really, really like it and think it's like really original, because stuff like that hasn't been done for a long time. I mean, there is, people are talking about Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, there's some of that in there. There's some Seven in there. There's even some of Oz Perkins's other movies. If you've seen any of those, there's some stuff like that in there as well. So I mean, but it works. It works pretty well. I kind of, I didn't fully get the twist, but I pretty much kind of guessed that twist too. And again, I don't like guessing twists, but sometimes there's not enough red herrings, Yeah. But so I did kind of figure that one out too. But that being said, like you said, Nick Cage's performance is really great. Interesting makeup choice.
I know.
Interesting makeup, but again, I don't even if I would have known who it was. Like when he's talking in his high pitched voice, like that's like creepy. It's really creepy. Yeah. Now when he starts talking straight, you can tell it's Nick Cage. But when he's doing the high pitched voice, I'm like, yeah, that is wild.
Yeah.
But no, overall, I did enjoy it. I think it was a good movie.
I did too, and I already want to like watch it again. Like you said, the birthdays, all the dates and stuff. I'm like, I kind of want to watch it again. But and I got to give credit to Alicia Witt. She plays the mom in the movie.
Oh yeah, well she's great.
I love her. I didn't even realize she was in this movie, and I was like, oh my God, is that Alicia Witt? She's like this fiery redhead, and she's a little bit older now, but I've always loved her as an actress.
Oh yeah, always. She was in Urban Legend way back in the day.
She was in Urban Legend. Yeah, she's been in like a bunch of. She was on. She played a little part on The Walking Dead.
She did, yeah. Sure did.
Bong Water. If you haven't seen Bong Water, it's funny. But yeah, love her as an actress, and she played a really good part. Like, I think it was very believable that she played a great role.
Yeah. it works, man. It works. It's creepy. It's not scary necessarily. I mean, again, maybe depending on who you are and how many movies you've seen and whatever, but it's not super scary. But I don't know. It's got enough tension and stuff that I think it's worth a watch. So
Yeah,
go
sure.
check out Longlegs. Longlegs. Yeah.
Longlegs.
All right.
Legs. So yeah, that's all I have for my list. My list was really short. I'm trying to get ready for the horror con coming up, and I've got a lot going on. So my list wasn't as long, but I did have some really good ones on there. So What about you? What have you got?
Really cool. All right, I've seen some pretty good stuff. I mean, those two included. Up first was a 2020 movie called Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, this is a little movie with Devon Sawa. Joseph and his family live in the remote wilderness as fur trappers, but their tranquility is threatened when they think they're being hunted by the return of the wolf, and he leaves to track it. It was a pretty decent little movie. Really simple, kind of a deal, but about kind of just living out in the woods, kind of like that kind of remote living, which is scary in itself. But then when you get being hunted by animal or human, it gets a little dark. Yeah. So it's a pretty decent little movie. Up next was my first watch of Shakespeare's Shitstorm.
I've never even heard of it.
You've never heard of Shakespeare's Shitstorm?
No.
This was, I think it might have been his last movie. I don't know if he's made any since then. This is Lloyd Kaufman, Trauma.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've never heard of this one. Oh, God, I can only imagine being a trauma film.
Yeah. And that's just it. It is everything that you probably think it is. I mean, it's funny. It has its moments. Not his best work, I don't think. He definitely leans in hard with the meta on this one. Not that he doesn't always, I feel like to certain degrees, but definitely leans really hard with the meta on this one. Bringing back, this little nods to all his older films. But if you like Trauma, you have to check it out because it's that same flavor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I love me some trashy trauma movies.
Sure. Yeah. And when you get in that kind of mood, that's it's worth a watch. Cool. Up next was a new movie called In a Violent Nature.
Oh, okay. In a Violent Nature.
In a Violent Nature.
I feel like I've seen this or it's on my list. Refresh me on this.
Okay, this is the one where people were talking about where it's like from the killer's point of view is what we kind of heard, kind of a deal. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower in the woods that entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, the vengeful spirit spurred by a horrific old crime, his body is resurrected and becomes hell-bent on retrieving it. That was kind of the catch thing I think that they were saying is like, oh, it's the most original thing, like POV kind of a deal. And I remember talking to you about it. And you're like, well, what about Maniac and stuff like that? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So I don't know why they even said POV kind of a deal because it's not a POV kind of deal at all.
Oh, okay.
So it is an interesting movie. It's a little weird. I feel like it's kind of a movie for gamers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because what you do is for the most part, you do follow the killer like from behind him. Like you see him walking and then he'll even do cut scenes of he's walking, then he's walking somewhere else, and then he's walking somewhere else. So, but you see him in front. It's kind of like you're controlling with the controller. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's really that sort of kind of feel. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. An interesting choice for the movie is there's no real music.
Oh, okay.
It's mostly just wood sound. I mean, the characters are sometimes playing like a radio or CD or whatever, but there's no real effects, like score music or anything. So, I mean. It's interesting. I don't think it's revolutionary or nothing like that. It has some really cool kills. There's some really cool kills. Everybody talks about the yoga kill, and it's pretty cool. It's very cool. So worth a watch just for those kind of things. But I don't think it's like the most original thing that's ever happened or nothing like that. And what I kind of thought, like when I thought of the concept, or what I thought was the concept, is I was like, well, how are you going to care about any of these characters? Because that's kind of the thing, and you don't really care about the characters, not really.
Okay.
Not really. It's really just he wants his locket and he's going to get it, and he's chasing after whoever's got it, kind of a deal. The biggest thing is, like, I think, like, they ended the movie and they're like, oh, we're a little short on time. So, like, there's this whole big scene that I call fluff at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That is just like, this is just going on and on for no reason but time. Like, and then the ending's a little, I don't want to give it away, but there is something about the ending that you go, oh, okay. But yeah, that scene right before the ending, it involves a vehicle, and I'm just going like, has nothing to do with anything, except maybe trying to get you to care for somebody that you didn't care about before. I don't know, maybe, but it's definitely worth a watch for the kills and stuff like that. But I didn't love it, but it's pretty good.
Okay. So it's funny. I was like, I feel like I've either had this on my list. I do. I had it on my list. I have not seen it, but
Yeah.
It's been on my list for a while. So to watch. So you recommend that I do watch it?
Yeah, watch it for the kills for sure. And it is different. It again, it's more like you're playing a game than you're watching a movie at times,
Yeah, I could see that if it's like you're looking through the eyes of the killer and like
No, you're not looking through the eyes of the killer. You're like the killer's walking.
Oh, like you're like almost like
you're behind the killer. You're behind the killer. Yeah, exactly. Like your your figure or your character, he's in front of you and you're walking him, basically.
That's why it feels like a video game.
Very much. And there's a lot of that.
Okay. Yeah, that seems kind of annoying, but I don't know. I'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, worth a one-time watch for the kills for sure.
Okay.
Up next was a little movie called Squealer. Came out last year.
Squealer.
When a local cop and an overzealous social worker follow clues to a missing persons case around town, stomach-churning discoveries are unearthed on a pig farm, where the town butcher has been slaughtering more than livestock. This one's on Peacock. It's pretty good. Better than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Squealer. I've never even heard of this one.
Not too bad. It's about that Puck, I think. What was the serial killer in the Canadian pig farmer serial killer guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's roughly based on him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Squealer.
Yeah, but it's on Peacock. You can watch that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next was I Saw the TV Glow.
I Saw the TV Glow.
Yeah.
That's funny because when I was looking up, I was like, okay, have I seen In Violent Nature? And I looked it up and it says, like, just Wikipedia or whatever, in the bottom right-hand corner, it says, other people search for, and it says Longlegs, and it says I Saw the TV Glow. So that's kind of weird.
That's funny. So this one came out this year. Two teenage bond over their love of supernatural TV show, but it was mysteriously canceled. So this is A24, so, it's automatically the best thing ever. Because that's how they do things. If you can recall, with all their marketing, this is the best movie you have never seen.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And this is a PG-13 horror movie, so you know how I feel about those.
Yeah.
It's okay. I didn't love it. There's some parts that are pretty cool in it. It's not great though. I don't know if you would like it or not, to be honest. It has that nostalgia for videotapes and shows on TV from back in the day, that kind of stuff. Like making mixed VHS tapes or something. Like recording on VHS tapes and watching them later. And there's some trippy stuff in it. I did read something where people were saying it's like it's the new Donnie Darko, or this generation's Donnie Darko. If that's true, I feel sorry for it.
I just noticed, like, I looked it up and it's on the cast. Fred Durst is in this movie.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't even know he even did acting. That's funny.
No, he was in another movie. Oh, he actually directed a movie. Did you know that?
No, I had no
With
idea.
John Travolta. Yeah, so it's a horror movie too. It's called The Fanatic or something like that. Yeah. He's I think he's been in a couple, but yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it's a little pretentious. I mean, like I said, it's got its moments. I didn't hate it for sure. I liked it. I definitely didn't love it though. So it's PG horror. So if you're in the mood for that kind of stuff,
gotcha.
Did a rewatch of The Invitation from 2015. You seen this movie?
Oh yeah. That's a good one. Did you the first time you watched it? Did you have any idea how it was going to end?
Oh no way! Huh?
I know, right? I know
No
that's
way.
me too. I was just like, oh, okay. I've only seen it one time, and it was probably was like when it first came out, right around 2015, 2016, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
thought it's a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's definitely worth a rewatch.
For sure.
A lot of good stuff in here. Good acting, and the twist is good. It is.
Yeah.
Up next was a rewatch of Lords of Chaos. You seen that one?
Lords of Chaos. Yeah, I've seen it one time. I should do a rewatch of it. I remember really liking it.
Yeah, I really like this movie. This might be the third or fourth time I've seen it. It's just really good. Horrific, mostly in the fact that it's a true story, and everything. But
I did not know. I don't think I remember that being a true story.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
This is a true story. But yeah, if you like Norwegian black metal, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
And of course, X and Maxxxine we watched. First watch of a movie called Black Collar.
Oh, Black Collar! I own that movie.
Have you seen that? You seen Black Collar?
Yeah. I sat in on a screening at Connuga. I think it was in 2019, and that was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I think it's a female director, right?
It was made in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
It's Tennessee made, yeah.
I kind of like how I remember that one of the characters, like each scene, it's a different person playing this one character.
Oh, yeah. And they comment on it, too. They comment on it. It was just funny, yeah.
Yeah, and the teacher in that movie was also in Deadlines.
Oh, is that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Up next was a rewatch of Abigail. Did another rewatch of that one. Yeah.
Cool.
Newer
Do you like
movie.
it just as much for second time?
Yeah. It's just a fun movie. It's just one you gotta put on for fun, because once you know the story, you're not really like looking for that kind of stuff, and it's just more of a fun movie. I feel like it's more of a popcorn movie.
It is. It is a fun movie. I ended up liking that a lot more than what I thought I was going to like it.
Yeah. Same here. Same.
Yeah.
Up next was a rewatch of a little movie called Death by Temptation. And I talked about this before, this movie, because I was introduced to this from Joe Bob on The Last Drive-In. It's a really good movie. I like it. It's from the 1990. And it's technically a Trauma movie. Trauma didn't make the movie, but they distributed it. Well, actually, they did film a few of the scenes, but not. It wasn't like originally a Trauma movie. I think they just picked it up and everything. But I really like it. I think anybody should check it out if they haven't. Up next was Longlegs. Obviously, we talked about that one. Definitely worth a watch if you're a horror fan. If you're a psychological thriller fan, go check it out. Up next was that new movie, The Exorcism.
Oh, The Exorcism. I'm dying to hear what you thought about that.
All right. Now we talked about this now. Russell Crowe. Now, he was in the movie called The Pope's Exorcist. That came out not too long ago. And they're actually making a sequel to The Pope's Exorcist. So he's probably working on it now. But in between those, he made this movie called The Exorcism, which I watched last night. And so the interesting thing about this movie is it was made by the guy who's in the original Exorcist, the guy who played the priest. Okay.
Yeah.
Damien Carius was his name. His real name is Jason Miller. His son is the one that made this movie called The Exorcism. I don't know. I assume this is just sort of a way for him to kind of air out his grievances, maybe just sort of get his his therapeutical thoughts out, with this movie.
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to assume, because it's interesting. I mean, to a degree, it's about this guy who, I mean, it doesn't say it's the Exorcist, obviously, but you can tell that it is. So he gets to play the priest, but he's had a lot of trauma in his life. But obviously, this isn't like a straightforward true story kind of a deal with the movie. But it takes the role of the priest, and then things start happening to him, and then he ends up being possessed while he's on the set and everything. And of course, and he has a daughter, and she's affected by it and everything. I assume it's just sort of maybe him just sort of getting out his, experiences as a child growing up, maybe while his dad was making a movie called The Exorcist. That's kind of where I'm at with it. It's an okay movie. It's not great. It's not great.
It's kind of a cool story, though. Yeah,
I mean, it's cool to think of, like, to do that. Especially if you know the director and kind of. But I think if it wasn't that, just take it as a movie. It's just a more of a typical, I would say, exorcism movie. So nothing really new to explore there. I don't think there is much to explore there. Look, I'm dying to see what Mike Flanagan can do, because if anybody can make a good Exorcist movie, it's probably going to be Mike Flanagan.
Yeah,
what? If anybody can do it, damn, Mike can pull it off. But I don't even know if he can do it, because it's one of those genres it's hard to replicate.
It really is hard. Yeah, I think we've talked about that a couple times, and it's definitely hard. Yeah, for sure.
And this is the same thing here. Again, maybe worth a watch if you understand the backstory and kind of want to see kind of sort of a reimagination of what was going on behind the scenes of the Exorcist.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I watched today was Bigfoot Exorcist.
Bigfoot Exorcist. That just sounds kind of crazy.
Bigfoot Exorcist. That was, who do you think made that movie?
Bigfoot Exorcist? I don't even know.
Donald Farmer.
Oh, no shit. It didn't even cross my mind, but it makes sense now.
This is that new movie that it just dropped. It just came out. Donald Farmer's new Exorcism movie, the Bigfoot Exorcist. It's got Corey Jordan's in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Dixie Gears, that girl who she won over there with Mike and them at the FrankenCon. She did that little movie with the girl about the underwear. Remember that?
Oh yeah, in the laundromat.
Yeah, in the laundromat. She's in there too, and
okay.
And a lot of his other staples is in it. So it's just Donald Farmer doing the Donald Farmer thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you like that kind of stuff, go check it out. It's campy. It's interesting. But anyway, that's all I got as far as movies. So
cool.
You got anything else, or you want to go talk to Dylan?
Yeah, let's go talk to him.
All right. Sweet.
What's up, everybody? We've got a really special guest tonight. Tonight we have Dylan Young. Dylan is a film director. He's the owner at Video Nasties and Stolen Thunder Productions. And not to mention, he's also a host and programmer at Genre Film Club. What's up, Dylan?
Dylan, what's up?
Not too much. Thank you guys for having me on. I'm excited to come on and talk to you all.
Yeah, awesome.
Very cool. Awesome.
Yeah, you got a lot going on there.
Yeah. I saw you at FrankenCon.
Yeah, it was great meeting you all at FrankenCon.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great time there. So let's start. Let's go from the very beginning, Dylan. What got you into movies in the first place?
Oh, I always loved movies when I was a kid, and as far as making movies, I always had little ideas to make movies when I was a kid, or think about oh, this song would be so cool in this kind of scene. But growing up without money in the Midwest, it didn't seem like that was even something that was plausible. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until 2019 I went and worked my first crew gig on a feature, and that really helped me put into perspective how films are made and how you can make a good movie without a lot of money, and it was really inspiring.
Yeah,
awesome.
So cool. You're still fairly new at this, that's not been that long ago, so you're still still pretty new, but you've done quite a few shorts and stuff right now, right?
Yeah, so I dipped my toes into directing like later that year in 2019, and my first short ended up coming out publicly in 2021, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So we saw one of your shorts at FrankenCon, and it was so, I love it because it was so funny that I think you made like the entire audience speechless there for a second, and it was such a, the message was so, it was so good that everybody was speechless, and it was like, oh, it was so good and intense. Wow. Everybody was like speechless for a hot minute.
I really appreciate that. I mean, that's kind of what I want, you know? It's one of those movies where I want people to just stop and think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you really got the message through to, I'm sure you got the message through to some people. So
that movie was Sorry for the Mess. Did you have any inspiration with that one, Dylan? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, so like years ago, there was a Stephen King short story that kind of sparked this about a college campus shooter. And over the years, I thought like, oh, it'd be cool to adapt that into a film. And then eventually I was like, no, I think I want to like do my own thing and, you know, have a more modern spin on it. And then, you know, over the years, I wrote it a few different ways, and then it kind of ended up turning into what it is now, which is just like a commentary on suicide and kind of like a public service announcement.
Yeah, cool. That's pretty, yeah, it's awesome. So I watched the, I think I watched damn near all of your shorts. I kind of pulled up your Vimeo. You've got some really good work. Really good work. I mean, it's really detailed, and you were right when you were saying that, you know, you kind of learned how to make films with low budgets. And you almost can't even tell that they're low budgets. Like your special effects look good. Your actors are great. Yeah, really good work all the way around.
Yeah. Your genre, your films, they really run the gamut of genres, right, Dylan? Do you have any particular genre that you like to focus on? But you like them all, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I like everything. I like to dip my toes in, like trying in different genres and experimenting in different genres. And I think, you know, naturally I'm drawn to horror. It's something that has a great audience. It's something that you can do efficiently with low budgets. And it's something that I've always loved. But yeah, when it comes down to it, you know, if it's the right project, it doesn't really matter what genre it is. I'm going to try to find a way to do it dutifully, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. And so, Video Nasties. Let's talk about Video Nasties for a minute. So I bought a shirt off of your website before I ever even met you or knew who you were.
Oh, that's so cool. What shirt did you get?
Yeah, it's Street Trash.
Yeah, that's great. I love.
So we even had one of the guys from Street Trash on the podcast. Gosh, maybe I don't know, maybe about a year ago.
Was it Frank?
It was Frank.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I worked with Roy Frumkus on that collection, another producer on the film, but I have had some discussions with Frank, and he was a real kind person. I really enjoyed talking with him.
Oh, cool. I love it. I love this shirt. What got me on the shirt is because it was so colorful. I was like, oh, this is different. You know, I love it. I kind of collect horror shirts. Like I have an entire closet full of them, but yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, did you get the one with the guy melting into the toilet or the one with the collage?
Oh no, the toilet. Yeah.
The toilet. Yeah, that one's a little bit more colorful. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how did you get into Video Nasties? How'd that come about?
Yeah, so like long story short, I was working at a tattoo shop, got into a car accident, was like, I don't think this is what I want to try to do with my life anymore because I got some back and neck injuries. And as I was recovering, I wrote a scary movie script for a feature because I just always wanted to do that and it seemed like the appropriate time. But once I was done, I was like, well, I have no idea what to do with this. And then I just like got really into like Fright Rags and Cavity Colors and Gutter Garbs and all those companies while I was like recovering and just like seeing all the cool stuff that they were putting out. And I think it was mostly Gutter Garbs that I was like, I can do this. I was like, this is really cool. And I feel like I could do this. So I just started spending all the days that I was stuck on the couch messaging, sending out emails to like 100 people a day, just trying to get in touch with producers and get licenses and just try to start it from the ground up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. All of your merch is all like officially licensed.
Yeah, I just like wanted to play it safe. Like it just seemed like the way to do it, you know, and it was cool making some connections with some like producers and directors throughout it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely awesome. It's a lot of time when I buy shirts or buy merch. It makes such a difference if it is officially licensed or not. It makes a difference to me.
For sure. Yeah, and it was important for me to just try to make like high quality goods too, and like have nice shirt blanks that we're printing on that are soft, and you know, not trying to limit ourselves to just one or two colors. And I was, you know, going and licensing out and commissioning artists for different designs, and you know, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. And you were talking about the genre film club. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the genre film club thing is newer. We just started last month was our first event. We ran a biker film night, and it's basically just a way for me to host an event where I live in Louisville, Kentucky, and have people come out for free and just show them movies that are obscure old cinema that I think that people should check out. And, you know, I program some music videos, movie trailers, short films, and a lot of the times I'll play a short film of like a local filmmaker, and I'll have them come up and I'll do a Q&A with them. But we're prepping for Tuesday night will be our second event. We're doing Creature Feature Night.
Oh, fun. You already have the movie picked out? Or your main movie?
So we're doing 2 features, and then in between the features, I like to go and find another movie that like is something that I'd like to show in public, but maybe it's like a little too boring or a little too exploitive. Mm-hmm. And I make like a 30-minute little intermission cut of it to play between the other 2 movies.
Oh, that's pretty smart. Yeah.
Yeah, but the titles themselves, I keep it a mystery. So 1, because of legality, but 2, because it's just kind of fun.
Oh, so if you want to know what movie he's playing, you have to show up. Yeah. So where do you have this at? Yeah,
so on social media, if you check out at Genre Film Club, you can find all of our information on our Instagram account. But we host this at the Misfit in downtown Louisville, and it's actually in the Hereafter, which is their building underneath. It's like a speakeasy. So in their basement, they've got a projector and a bar and some nice tables set up.
Well, that sounds like so much fun. Like if we had something like that in the city I live in Nashville. Like, I would totally go to it. That sounds so much fun. And you could meet a lot of people and do a lot of networking. And, yeah, it sounds like really fun. What movie did you play at your first one you had?
Before I reveal that, we're thinking about trying to expand down to Nashville. So,
oh, really? Sweet.
Yeah. So I'll be talking to some people about looking for a venue to do, you know, occasional events. But at our biker film night, our first film that we played was called Psychomania, also known as The Death Wheelers, and it is a British biker film that like feels more like a scary movie, and it's basically about this like guy who realizes his mom is into occult stuff, and he's the leader of a biker gang, and he finds a way to make himself undead and tries to make all of his biker gang also be able to live forever and be untouchable. So that one's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
And then our cut down intermission cut film was called Angels Hard as They Come. It was a movie that was co-written by Jonathan Demme, who directed Silence of the Lambs. And it's also Gary Busey's first movie. He plays a hippie in it. And it's a really solid film, and our intermission cut of it is on our YouTube channel. So if you go to Genre Film Club on YouTube and search for The Angels as Hard as They Come intermission cut, you can find that there to watch for free. And lastly, we played a movie called Angel Unchained, which is about a biker who is like the co-president of his club, and he wants to kind of get away from the lifestyle and just kind of like go do his own thing for a while. And he gets in with this hippie commune, and he falls in love with this lady there. And then they start being hassled by the locals partially because of his presence. And he ends up being asked to go seek his old biker gang out to come help them against the locals.
Oh, that sounds cool. Sounds cool. Love some biker movies. It sounds fun.
They're super fun, and it's cool just like delving myself into these genres each month, and like I'll spend a lot of time like watching extra biker movies that month and whatnot, just to kind of like help more familiarize myself with all of the genres as well. And it also just always gets my mind ticking. And, you know, last month I really, really wanted to make a biker film, and, you know, I still do, but every month I feel like I'm going to want to make a movie that's reflective of the genre I'm representing.
Yeah, that's so cool. So what inspired you to like start this? You doing it by yourself? Do you have a partner?
Yeah, so I have done some kind of similar screening stuff like this at a couple other places in Louisville in the past. And they were more geared towards just like general modern indie cinema, or just like setting up screenings for myself and my own work to share with like friends and family. And was approached at the end of last year by some people that were putting together this place called The Misfit and the Hereafter. And they wanted to do some kind of film series. And I was like, I want to kind of like concoct something new that's like a consistent series. And this is what sounded most fun to me and what I wanted to share with my friends most, you know? But yeah, it's just right now I'm kind of in charge of everything. My girlfriend helps me with all of our graphics and with some of our social media presence and stuff like that. But the two of us are kind of running things together, and we're looking for other places to do events. We'd like to expand into like Nashville and Knoxville and some of the general surrounding area, or just other venues in the Louisville area for, you know, different other special events.
Cool. Well, you let me know when you make it to Nashville, because I will definitely be there for sure.
Yeah, will do. And I would like to try to make that happen sooner rather than later. So I'll be in touch.
Okay. Hey, sounds good. Yeah. Awesome. So
Dylan, you're living up in Louisville. What's the indie scene like up there? I know about 7 or 8 years ago they had a pretty good thriving indie film scene. What's it like now?
Yeah, so like a couple of years ago, we got a new state tax incentive program here, and that's been drawing a lot of low budget, but still like pretty big productions to our area, which has been really cool and been really helpful for our crew to get more work. And there's a pretty cool indie scene here that's just always kind of growing. There's another local series called Below the Line. And it's like a shorts night that's done quarterly by Jeff Stortz, a local Louisville AC. And it is just like only sponsoring local independent filmmaking. And there's lots of like music videos, and like sometimes they'll do like educational videos and short films and stuff. It's a really cool thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're all about supporting like our independent, low budget filmmakers. Is that, you know, it's they're so underappreciated, and they work so damn hard. So hard. They're so passionate about what they do, and so we're really big on
Michael on.
Say it one more time.
You all just had my buddy Michael on recently.
Yeah, we love Michael. He's a really good friend of mine, and that it's funny because at FrankenCon, I went up to him and I said, so I'm going to walk around, like, talk to some folks, and, you know, always like to, you know, meet new people and see who we can bring on the podcast. And he was like, oh, you've got to go talk to my boy Dylan. Do you know him? And I said, no. So that's how I actually met you, is because he introduced me.
Yeah, that's cool. I met him last summer at a mutual friend of ours' birthday party. It's someone that I have been friends with for a handful of years since I started filmmaking, and have worked on like all of his projects, and they just so happen to have been roommates in film school.
Oh, wow. That's a small world, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah. Cool. So are you got any projects that you're working on right now, like for films?
Yeah, so as far as like post-production is concerned, I just put the finishing touches on another fake movie trailer that I'm about to release, probably like on August 1st. And so that was another thing that I had made for that same contest as that Western that I had done previously.
Yeah.
And then there's another project that we're finishing up. I was just working on the trailer for it earlier today, and it's called Split Blood. It's something that I produced, I assistant directed, and I edited for my good buddy DeAndre Teagle, who is an actor that I've worked with both as crew, both as an actor, as a director. He's great to work with. And this was his first time directing. He had been wanting to write something for years that he could act in, and I was just like pushing him to do it. And eventually we decided that this short film proof of concept would be something that would be good to start with. So we shot that at the end of last year, and it's getting ready to get sent out to some people to see what we can do with it.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. When we talked, Dylan, you had mentioned that you are interested in doing a feature in the future. Is that something you're still looking forward to doing?
Yeah, I am definitely looking forward to trying to do that, and I'm just trying to finish out a couple of short film projects that I've got in the works, and then see, where the wind blows me. I've got a handful of features I've gotten written already, and I've got a few more that I'm wanting to write soon. It's all just about finding the budget, but sure. With upcoming works, I've got this one micro short drama that I'm wanting to put together soon about an emergency call service worker. And then I also have a short film proof of concept for a 80s slasher feature. So that's something that I'm considering trying to go the crowdfunding route, make a short film, and then maybe approach some people for funding for a feature.
Oh, cool. Well, I still can't believe that you just kind of started dabbling in this in like 2019, because you have really cranked out some short films. I mean, some like good ones too. And with all your other projects, I'm like, wow, man, you stay busy.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I have to. It's like, this is what I want to do with my life, and I feel like I don't want to be standing on the sideline watching my life go by and not be able to be like, no, there's always things I'm working on.
That's awesome. So inspiring too. That's awesome.
You got anything else you want to promote, Dylan?
Yeah. So I did this event in Nashville this year in April called the Dare to Fail Film Showcase, and it's hosted at a comedy club down there. And really cool, fun event. They seemingly do it every month, and you just have to make a 1-minute film that fits the theme of the month. So I made this new film. It's my most recent project, and it's available on my Vimeo page now, called The Fool, because the theme of the month was Fool for April. And it's essentially just like a quick little 1-minute drama. It's my first dip into just something that isn't strictly horror. I think that what it touches on is something that I find kind of scary, but it's not intended to, scare people.
The one with the guy sitting there talking, and for a minute long. It's pretty powerful for a minute long.
Yeah, so my goal with that was I want to make something where I can make people emotional within 1 minute.
Well, I think you did pretty good.
It was really interesting too, making that, because it's such intricate timing, since it's mostly one shot. So a lot of the time, I was just standing at my monitor watching what was happening with a stopwatch running to know if it was within that 5 seconds that it had to be finished. So big shout out to the actor there for having his timing down to within 10 seconds of what it needed to be.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool.
But yeah,
you said that's at a comedy club in Nashville?
Yeah, it slips my head right now what it's called.
Zanies, maybe? Is it Zanies?
Not Zanies, but it was a cool little club, and yeah, if you search Dare to Fail, you'd be able to find that club. They've got a Instagram page and everything.
Hey, Brigitte, that's the one Michael always does too. Michael.
Yeah, I saw Michael there.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. You just make something based off of their theme. Do you know what their next theme is?
I'm not sure. I know the one right after April was hero themed, but I don't know what the current theme is.
That's kind of fun.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in a minute. I'm like, God, you have to like, you did so well for like creating something a minute long. I'm like, you have to pack a lot of stuff in a minute, but you did it so perfectly.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that was like the challenge that I was presenting myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fun. I'll have to check. I'll have to check that out. Cool. So you make it to Nashville a lot then?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in Nashville. I actually just did the McKay's road trip. Are you all familiar with that?
Yeah, we love McKay's. I know about the trip. I didn't do it, but yeah, that was so you did all of them, huh?
It was insane. Yeah, we did all of them. We got to all 5 stores.
Nice.
What? So the McKay's trip. So you went to you went to 5 of them. Oh my God, that take like all day.
So it was like this contest thing, Bridget, where like I guess it's their anniversary. So like you got a prize. Well, it was a pretty good prize, wasn't it, Dylan?
Yeah, I got $800 of in-store credit.
Yeah, that's great.
Holy shit! Really?
It was insane. And you all should look up articles for Knoxville McKay's that day.
They tried to shut it down.
Yeah, no. The fire marshal showed up while we were there and shut it down. There was over 500 people in the parking lot. They treated like 23 people for heat issues. Like 3 of them had to go to the hospital. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane. Hey, we care about our movies. We love our movies.
Right? Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, worth it. I spent a bunch of credit already. Got a bunch of Blu-rays I'm excited to watch. It should be a fun time.
So since you're talking about McKay's, I assume you're a physical media guy. How do you feel about the digital versus physical sort of stuff?
That's interesting. I'm a big fan of being able to own the things that I pay for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think that's something that's very important to me. I don't love whenever I pay for a video purchase and then it disappears from my library because I wasn't made aware that there was a terminating contract between 2 other entities.
Yeah.
But it's like there's also a convenience to non-physical media. I'm a big traveler, so that can be tough. I've shown up to go work on a feature film with like a whole tote full of movies before, and people look at me like I'm crazy, and that's just part of life sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love my physical media. I'm a big physical media collector. I like to collect a lot of the boutique labels like Severin Films and Vinegar Syndrome, Grindhouse Releasing, etc.
Nice. How many movies do you own? If you're gonna guess.
5,000 about.
Okay. So I was like, take a guess. That's awesome. Is it all horror? Is it all different genres?
It's all different genres. It's definitely mainly horror films, and that's across like DVD and Blu-ray and 4K. So It's like, there's years and years of collecting there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mike and I are both movie collectors too, so we love our physical media for sure.
Nice. Are you all Letterboxd users?
No,
I have it. I wouldn't say I use it. I mostly just post my movies on Slasher, but I don't. Every now and then I'll get a bug and go do Letterboxd for a day or two, but then I'll just forget about it.
I kind of do the same. I'm the same way. But I'm like you, Mike. I also do Slasher. Like when you said, "Oh, that's how I kind of keep up with my movies," I'm like, "Oh, that's a pretty good idea." But the only thing is they don't have all the movies on there, so that's the only thing. But for the most part, I mean, then the majority of them are you on Slasher, Dylan?
I'm not on Slasher. I've heard people talking about it. I feel like at this point I'm so invested into Letterboxd that I almost would be wary to spend more time on social media.
Yeah. That's the thing is that like if you're gonna do social media, like you can't have like so many. If you're gonna have if you're gonna do social media, pick a few and do really good at those few.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. That's the bad thing about social media. I'm like, I'm really bad about it. I think I post on Slasher more than I post on anything. It's so funny.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, everybody's just drawn to certain apps. It makes plenty of sense.
Yeah. So with the movies, question: Do you have a favorite horror movie?
Oh, interesting. Do I have a favorite horror movie? Probably Cannibal Holocaust.
Okay. All right. Cool.
That's horror and hardcore extreme horror all in one.
That's true. Yeah, it's a crazy, shocking movie, and I love the insanity behind the production of it, and I love its message, and I just think it's an insane movie that will be burned in my brain for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. You'll have to listen to our podcast. We had Carl York.
Oh yeah, I met Carl last year at FrankenCon.
Yeah. So he come on the podcast. He was fun. He had some really good stories to tell.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. It's imagine being on that film set. Can you imagine that?
I can't imagine that. And what I think is even crazier is that Carl York didn't see a script for that movie until he showed up in the jungle.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, he talks all about that and on our podcast. It's pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy story. And I if somebody's like, hey, he called me up, hey, you got this part, you can't see the script, fly over here. I'm like, I don't know, it sounds kind of sketchy.
Right?
Yeah, he's pretty ballsy to take.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was pretty fun though. He was cool. Well, so if our listeners wanted to check out some of your films or find you on social media, like where tell us all the places they can find you.
Yeah, so as far as like films go, pretty much everything that I have publicly right now available is just going to be on my Vimeo, which is just Dylan A. Young. And you can find links to my Vimeo through my Linktree, which is on my other social medias. So on Facebook, I'm just Dylan A. Young. On Instagram, it's at Dylan A. Young. On Letterboxd, same thing. I'm trying to keep it as uniform as possible, so if you find me on one thing, you can kind of find me other places too.
Mm-hmm. And Video Nasties is it videonasties.com?
Yeah, it's a weird spelling though, because it's like a fake ownership thing, as if Video Nasty is some kind of character. So it's videonastys.com.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, awesome. Man, I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us. You are so busy and have so many amazing things going on. And I love it. It's very, very inspiring. Very inspiring.
Well, I appreciate you all having me on. Without stuff like this, nobody finds out about all that stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we always have a guest on. I love talking about it and all the cool things. Like, sounds like Louisville's got like a lot of cool things happening with horror. Love that.
For sure. And I'm trying to bring that other places too.
Yeah, we're just always trying to keep horror alive and thriving. Always.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and the Genre Film Club. So, there's an Instagram for Genre Film Club, right?
Yep, and it's just at Genre Film Club.
Okay,
cool.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, great time talking with you all. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you let me know when you're coming to Nashville.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Knoxville soon. But I don't have anything locked down for Nashville yet. But yeah, I'll let you know.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate it.
I'm sure we'll see you at the next FrankenCon.
Yeah, I hope so. I saw there's been some announcements for it already.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll be there.
Well, y'all take care. It was great talking.
All right.
You too.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah.
Later.
All
righty. Dylan Young.
Dylan. Wow, what a busy guy.
Up and comer. Going to have some features in his back pocket here pretty soon, probably.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Cool. He's definitely got the love of filmmaking and the horror genre, so very cool.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else?
Man, that's all I got for you.
All right. Well, I guess until next time, you know what everybody should do, right?
What's that?
Huck to and spit on that thing.
or maybe you should just stay hardcore. Either way, maybe both. Do both.
Maybe both.
do both. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Until next time.
Next time. Bye.
Later.
Wow. That's hardcore.
Nothing harder.
Hardcore Horror with Mike and Bridget is a part of the Tennessee Horror Podcast Network.